Hey, everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. It is the night of President's Day. I got the day off from school. A lot of people got the day off today, government officials, public employees of many kinds, and I'm one of those people. I got very fortunate. I don't get paid for it, though, so I'm not that fortunate. I was thinking about President's Day and why it still exists. I'm really not sure. I don't think a lot of people hold high regard for the office, especially considering our last two presidents. Um, you know, I just, I don't know. I know when I was a kid, it was more revered. Back in the 70s, it was mainly celebrated for Washington and Lincoln's birthdays. I think Lincoln's is the 12th and Washington's is the 22nd of February. I might have them reversed. But that was like, okay, well, those were two major presidents. Obviously, one is considered the father and the founder of the country, and the other is the uniter of the country, and also doing wonderful things like ending slavery. So those were the two main presidents that holiday was named for and celebrated. I assume it's for all presidents. I really don't know. I've never really looked into it that deeply. Even being a history, having a degree in history with a minor in political science, you'd think I'd know a little more about the history of it, but I really don't. I will say this: some comments about it. First of all, it makes me think of Mount Rushmore. I'm sure some of you have been there. I have. I went back in 2008, I believe. And it was interesting because the Rangers give you a tour if you want to go on that, and you learn a lot because I didn't know necessarily why those four presidents were up there, and of course the reasons are pretty obvious if you know your presidents. But the first, of course, you got Washington, and he is the founder of the country, and he's the reason the country exists in a sense. He's definitely the first president, and also obviously one of the major generals of the Revolutionary War and an icon, really. And so, so they give him credit for his face being on Mount Rushmore for for basically being the founder and the father of the country. Jefferson, I think, is also obvious. Jefferson is on there for basically doubling the size of the country with the Louisiana Purchase back in 18, oh boy, '02? 12, right around there. I should know that, but I don't. Early 1800s, the Louisiana Purchase purchased a huge chunk of land from France, which included a good chunk of the Midwest. They got west of the original 13 colonies, I think all the way up to the Mississippi River, maybe even further. I should look into that too. But if you look at it, basically doubled the size of the country, created manifest destiny, great for white people, not so great for the Native Americans of this country. But yeah, that's why Jefferson's face is on the is on Mount Rushmore. I'm sorry, I'm really tired. It's almost bedtime for me. And then of course you have Lincoln, and Lincoln is on there, like I mentioned before, as the uniter of the country. That it wasn't so they didn't put his face so much on there because of giving basic human rights to black people and ending slavery. It was because he helped when he was the president who won the Civil War with the help of generals like Grant, and that's why he's on there, because Mount Rushmore is all about the national park system, about our natural resources, and about that greatness of America. So that's why these four presidents are on there. So Lincoln is the uniter of the country, he kept the country together so we could continue to have manifest destiny and so forth, about 50 years after the Louisiana Purchase was conducted. And then, of course, the last president is Teddy Roosevelt, who was a big, to me, he's an ironic person because he was really big, instrumental in the beginnings of the national park system, really big into conservationism, but also hunted so much, killed so many animals, often endangered animals. So you always question that, right? When why do these people want these vast expanses of land? Why do they want these huge, wonderful places so they can kill things? A lot of times, a lot of these guys are like this. Like, I always love when I hear the commercials, and they also even have it on a license plate here in Colorado, hunting and fishing for conservation. It's weird to me, right? Because yes, those tags that are purchased by hunters, whether it's a duck or an elk or a pheasant or whatever they're purchasing a license to hunt, provides money to the national park systems and the wildlife national. What am I? The Division of Wildlife. So yes, that's helpful. But then you're going out and you're killing the wildlife. So it's a really weird thing to me. I'd rather you just maybe save some money and pay your taxes towards those things and not kill animals. But hey, whatever. Everything in this world is crazy to me these days. But yeah, so those are the four presidents that are on the Mount Rushmore. Obviously, this is a President's Day rant, or not even a rant, just an observation, an average guy opinion, if you will, about why we have it. And I honestly don't have any other reasons than that. I want to try to make this a 10-minute video. Kind of just thinking about holidays in general and how it is weird to me. And this is, I laugh because this is the woman who broke up my marriage, and I took 50% in that. I don't just blame her, and I helped break up her marriage. But she had a really good point. We're both atheists, and she said, why should any holiday be mandated by the government? And she's got a really good point, especially since many of our national holidays are either very patriotic, nationalistic, or religious. Christmas, Thanksgiving, almost all of our holidays have that in it. And why shouldn't we just get, hey, you get 4 weeks off, 5 weeks off from work. You just take them off whenever you want. A major one that we've really lost out on is, Election Day used to be a day off. It was like a national day off. And I really think we should bring that back. Instead of having Veterans Day, which is like a week after the elections, just have if you really care about your people voting, if you really care about democracy, Election Day the entire day should be off. People can go at their leisure. They can still fill out mail-in ballots if they want. But yeah, if we really care about people getting out and voting and having a voice in their government, you should make that a holiday again. That would be the most important holiday of all. Like I say, why I don't need July 4th off. I like seeing fireworks, but I don't need to be reminded of how I'm supposed to be a patriot. These are arguments I've had with people in the past. Like, this is a weird one. This guy, I used to work with him at Overland High School. Decent guy, but very conservative. And he worked at Overland for, I think, like 30 or 40 years. But he came back in his retirement to sometimes sub, because subbing can be pretty lucrative, actually. You can get like $40 an hour if you're a certified teacher, which he was, to come in and sub. And so he subbed with our kids sometimes. And he was bragging, he was going on a right-wing rant a little bit about, well, aren't you a patriot? I go, yeah, I'm as much of a patriot as you are. He's like, well, I carry a gun, and if someone came in here, and he points to his jacket like, felt like a power move, like a lot of those concealed carry guys do. Like, hey, yeah, I got a gun right here. If anything goes down, I'm the man. And I'm like, all right, well, okay, if that makes you a citizen and a patriot, that's your opinion. And I told him, I said, hey, I vote and I pay taxes, and I'm a good human being. I'm good towards my fellow Americans and fellow people in general. I go, that's all I do. And I feel like as much of a patriot as you, because you wave a gun around and could possibly, and I say very strongly, possibly save some lives if something goes down here. You look at Uvalde, not so much, right? So I'll believe it when I see it. I'm waiting on the good guy with a gun to be helpful, because it's very, very rare that it happens. I know that kind of brings us out of the President's Day mold, and maybe I kind of went on a tributary there, but yeah, I don't, like I said, this is just another holiday that I don't understand. Just like a few days ago, I bitched about Valentine's Day. It's a greeting card holiday, and this is just a holiday that gives you a 3 or 4 day weekend. I don't think anyone really appreciates it. Is anyone really going, oh, thank you for those presidents? Sometimes people celebrate Memorial Day and like to talk about how if we weren't, if we didn't have veterans and warriors, we wouldn't have this country. Maybe that's true, but if you look at it in real terms, we haven't been in a legitimate war since World War II. No one has stepped on our soil, and these are wars in the name of oil. But I'm going to leave it at that. I'm closing in on 10 minutes. If you had a happy President's Day, I hope you did. I did, because I had it off, so it was good for me. So there you go. Happy President's Day. Happy whatever you're doing. I hope you are well. I am generally well. We will see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Bye.